Europe has had one of its quietest Labour Days in living memory, with the usual street demonstrations cancelled due to lockdown measures. For the first time in more than 70 years, the German Federation of Trade Unions marked May Day without big protests. Police in Hamburg told organisers that only groups of 25 people or less could gather. Protesters in Greece did turn out in higher numbers. Hundreds defied a government ban to make their point outside Parliament. The pandemic has led to unprecedented job losses and financial fallout worldwide. Spain's government now predicts the crisis will leave 19% of people unemployed. On Thursday, the European Central Bank warned the crisis could shave 15% off Eurozone finances. Well, here in France, May Day usually sees thousands of protesters in the streets. This year, though, rallies have been scaled back, with workers marking the day on social networks or finding other ways to demonstrate from their homes. Our international correspondent, Annelise Borges, told me this May Day is like no other in history.
Well, for the first time since World War II, Labour Day celebrations have been called off here in France. But union leaders say that workers' rights remain as important as ever in this time of crisis and are calling on their members to join celebrations to mark the day, either by joining online activities or by protesting from their balconies, by hanging banners, for example, to pay homage to those so-called invisible workers, often low-paid workers such as street cleaners, garbage collectors, supermarket staff, nurses, who have been rediscovered during this lockdown as essential parts of society. And on Twitter, the French President Emmanuel Macron also paid homage and expressed his gratitude to these so-called essential workers and spoke about a May 1st like no other in the country's history.
Being denied the usual way of celebrating this day goes to show all of its value and meaning. With strong will, we'll soon be able to celebrate happy May Days again. That makes up our country, my dear compatriots. We will see them again. Together, united, we will overcome this test.
Authorities in neighbouring Germany cancelled May Day events and rallies across the country. Some 5,000 people were deployed in the capital to crack down on any unauthorised demonstrations or protesters who failed to respect social distancing measures. But our reporter Jessica Salt says the police presence didn't keep everyone off the streets.
Dozens of protests are going to be happening across the city today and into this evening, including workers' groups, far-left groups and far-right groups. Now, around 30 of those protests have actually been legally approved by authorities to take place, so long as the groups in the protest do not contain more than 20 people per group and that they each keep 1.5-metre minimum distance to each other. So there will be protests across the day. The main protest that will be happening this evening and that will require the most police presence will be the far-left protests happening in the traditional protest part of the city, Kreuzberg, where thousands of far-left protesters are expected to gather, and they want to challenge police and they want to basically challenge authority. I'm currently at a protest that's being broken up, a protest against the lockdown measures. This protest here behind me was far left and far right people, as well as conspiracy theorists here today, certainly not adhering to the lockdown rules, which is why police are currently moving them on.